In my pan here, I'm just cooking up about 1.5 pounds because that's what I had, but you only really need 1 pound of my homemade ground chicken breast sweet Italian sausage. So it's 0 points for this recipe. And I have another YouTube video for that up on my channel as well. So we're just gonna cook this up. We'll come back with the next step. Here we go. I got my Italian chicken breast sausage, homemade, cooked up. And since I started with 1.5 pounds and I only need 1 pound, I'm actually gonna take about 1/2 pound out and just set it in the fridge in a Ziploc bag or so to save it for another meal or recipe. That way I only have 1 pound for the recipe. Got all my ingredients for my 0 point marinara in my Instapot liner. We're going to get that cooking on the slow cooker function here soon. Here is Amy's version in our Weight Watcher emails. That's what I did in there. But I add tomato sauce and a little bit extra. I got water boiling on the stove, or attempting to boil, so we can cook up these whole grain lasagna noodles. Okay, everybody, so I'm showing you how I make my 3 cheese spinach lasagna roll-ups. Now in this bowl, I just have 1 egg, and I have 2 tablespoons of Italian seasoning. Then I have about 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, about 1 teaspoon of onion powder, and then salt and pepper. We are going to add 1 cup of this fat-free cottage cheese to the bowl as well. Then we are going to use 1 cup of this low-fat ricotta cheese from KROGER. Now, I want to talk to you about this. This ricotta cheese, particularly this one from KROGER, when you scan it, it comes up as 2 points for 1/4 cup. But if you look at the nutritional label is wrong. So when you enter it in manually, it's actually only 1 point for 1/4 cup when you go by the nutritional label. So by the time you add in 1 cup of this ricotta cheese, it comes to 5 points in the recipe builder. So I try to get it as even as I can figure out. That. Add that in there. About 1 cup. There we go. Then we're just going to mix these ingredients together. Once I get this all mixed up, I'll come back and show you. Alright, so I got it mixed up good. And this is what it looks like. Now this next step is optional, but I just really like the flavor of it. I have Nutritional yeast right here, and we are going to add about 1 heaping tablespoonful of the Nutritional yeast. It gives it kind of like a cheesy, nutty flavor. I don't know how to explain it other than that. But we'll just mix that in there. There we go. like that. Now I'm going to get my noodles and my meat and my sauce all together, and I'll show you what I got going on next. Okay, so in my pan right here, I have 1 pound of my homemade ground chicken breast Italian sausage. I have another video on my page for that as well. I have it on about medium heat right now. In my Instapot, I actually have a batch of the 0-point marinara going. So I am just going to add probably about 2 cups, I would assume. Just one jar of pasta sauce worth into our meat. I'm going to do one more ladle here. Just kind of eyeball it. It doesn't have to be exact if you're using the 0-point marinara. But you just want it to be like a thick meat sauce consistency. So we'll see if that was enough here. Mix it up. I think I'm going to add about 1 more ladle worth of the sauce in here. Maybe not. It looks good. There we go. I think that'll be good enough. And then we're just gonna bring this up to heat. And I'll get my noodles out and I'll show you the process of how we roll it up. Okay, so I have a 13 by 9 glass baking dish here that I sprayed with cooking spray. We're going to take just a small amount of our sauce. I did end up adding 1 more ladle of it, sauce to it, by the way. But we're just going to add a small amount of our meat sauce to the bottom of the dish. And this is just to help keep the noodles from sticking. So it doesn't have to be perfect. You just want a little bit of something down on the bottom of the pan here. Then I'm going to set this to the side. Now here I have a cookie sheet that I lined with parchment paper. And the reason I did that is just to keep the noodles from sticking. So I'm going to lay out my noodles, get them all ready, and I'll come back and show you what I'm doing. Okay, so I have 6 of my whole wheat, whole grain lasagna noodles that are cooked, and they're rinsed off with cold water, and I lined them on the baking sheet with the parchment paper. We're just going to take our cheese mixture. I got a little small scoop, and I'm going to put, we'll say about 2.5, maybe 3 scoops worth. You're going to want to try and get this as even as possible. Then we're just going to kind of spread our cheese mixture on the noodle. It doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah, I'll say about 3 scoops is perfect. So we'll go ahead and get 3 scoops on some more of them. Don't mind my background noise if you hear it. My babies in the living room with Daddy. There we go. And this is going to make about 12 servings. And when it's all said and done, you can have 2 lasagna rolls for 1 point. And that's on purple. So there we go. Let's get it all spread out here. Probably would have been easier if I used a spoon instead of the back of my scoop ladle, but that's okay. And if you have broken noodles, it doesn't matter. Just try and piece it back together if you can. There we go, almost done. I'm trying to hurry and it's not cooperating too well. There we go. I'd probably say about 2.5 scoops. Now, after we get our cheese layer on here, we're going to take our meat sauce that we made and we're going to add just a little bit of meat sauce to each one as well. And it's okay if it's messier. The messy, the better, I guess, because it's more filling and more deliciousness in every bite. So there we go. There we go. And then after this, we're going to add a little bit of chopped spinach. Now, if you don't like chopped spinach, you don't have to add that. It's completely optional. It's delicious with just this. But if you like spinach, then a little bit of chopped spinach on top right here would be absolutely delicious as well. There we go. Just let me get my chopped spinach and I'll come right back. All right, here we go. Just take a little bit of spinach and just kind of sprinkle it throughout. Now, you don't have to use fresh spinach like I am. You can just use the frozen spinach. Just thaw it out first, kind of squeeze it dry and drain all the extra liquid out of it. And then use it like I'm doing now. If you like mushrooms or onions or anything, you could chop those up real small and add that. I already have onions and all that in my sauce, my homemade marinara sauce, so I'm just going to leave it like that. But here we go. We're just going to take it and just start rolling. There we go. And like I said, don't worry if some comes out the end. It'll still be delicious. And there we go. We're just going to keep rolling it up just like this. And once I get all my rolls done, I'll put them in the pan and I will show you what we do next. All right, I got all of my lasagna noodles rolled up and I got it all in the pan ready to go. My 13x9 holds 12 lasagna rolls. And I'm just going to take the leftover meat sauce that we didn't use in our rolls here. And you just want to just kind of spread it out over top of it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You just want it so the top of the noodles have a little bit of something something on it. There we go. Then I have 1 7-ounce bag of the fat-free mozzarella cheese. We are going to use this whole bag. And we are just going to spread it out as evenly as possible. Meanwhile, I have my oven preheating to 375 degrees. And there we go. Once the oven's preheated to 375 degrees, you're going to cover this with aluminum foil and you're going to bake it for about 45 minutes. But once you get your fat-free cheese on there, you're just going to take the butter cooking spray and you're going to spray the top of it. If you want to be extra fancy and pretty, I guess, you can tear up some spinach, give it some color, put a little bit of spinach on top. Good source of vitamins and minerals and all that stuff, so why not? There we go. Now I'm just going to get a sheet of aluminum foil down, and so the cheese doesn't stick to it, I am going to spray the foil as well with my cooking spray. And we're just going to cover it like so. Then we're going to pop this in the oven for 45 minutes. And I'll show you what it looks like when it comes out. And one of the lasagna rolls is 1 point on purple. You can also have 2 lasagna rolls for 1 point as well on purple. So I'll cook this up and I'll come back and show you how it looks. Alright, I'm just pulling it out of the oven here. Take off the foil. And look how beautiful that looks. Looks yummy. And the best part about lasagna rolls is, unlike traditional lasagna where you gotta wait a little bit for it to cool off, for it to set, so everything don't pour out everywhere. With this, when it's rolled, you can just take it out right away and plate it up and it not fall apart and go everywhere the rest of the dish. So, and then by spraying the cooking spray on the cheese, you can see it made it delicious looking, and the cheese actually melts properly, makes it a lot easier. So I'll just get a serving out here. Look at that. And there we go. This is my 3 cheese spinach lasagna roll up. Delicious.
don't